Starfield is finally here, and since its release, I have been playing non-stop, which puts me in a perfect position to best detail absolutely everything. I will tell you exactly what's going to happen, what you need to look out for, and some of the things that you must do. But before we get into the video, let's just take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Instant Gaming. Now, Instant Gaming isn't like every other business out there because they want you to save money rather than spend it. Instant Gaming basically offers the flagship games that you want for a fraction of the price. Just take a look at Starfield's Constellation Edition. Everywhere else is selling it for over $100, but on Instant Gaming it's only $84, giving you a 20% discount. With those savings, you could either just keep the money for yourself, or you could do what I did, which was then go ahead and buy an Xbox top-up, just in case anything else stands out to me whilst I'm going through the Xbox store. If you're interested, there is a link in the description down below. And I'm curious, let me know in the comment section, what games are you going to be buying? Is it going to be Starfield, or is it going to be something else that they have on offer? Getting back into today's video, we are going to be going through absolutely everything that you need to know. Of course, this is going to be the intro to the game, and as part of the game, it is going to give you an intro alongside a tutorial. It's not worth me talking about that and breaking that down because, well, the game already does it. You'll have to go through it anyway, so it's pointless me telling you what to do. However, there is one part that we do need to highlight, and that is character customization. With character customization, it's worth putting emphasis on the fact that your character's appearance is not set in stone. It tells you this in the bottom left hand corner of the character creation menu. It tells you that, note, biometric customizations can be changed later by visiting a genetics facility. Now, I have been playing for quite a bit of time. I haven't come across a genetics facility as of yet, but Bethesda are telling us that they're in the game, so they're in the game. With that said though, this is only your character's appearance. The background that you select will be set in stone, so what you have here will be skills that you have for the rest of the game. You will be able to expand upon your skills, which we will go through a bit later. You can also select traits, which is similar. It can unlock additional content, but there's also normally a negative side to this. So for example, with the introvert traits, this is more for those who are solo players and don't even want to bring a companion with them. With this, you'll then get a benefit of using less oxygen whilst you're adventuring alone, but you'll then have the opposite effect if you were to bring on a companion, where you'll be negatively affected and you'll have less oxygen. These traits are optional. You can go up to 3 if you really want to, or you could go for 0. On my playthrough, I selected introvert, kid stuff, and wanted, because those seem to be the 3 that have okay benefits, but the negative side of things really don't mean that much. After your character customization, you'll carry on going through the rest of the intro, which will also teach you the other gameplay mechanics, the more exciting gameplay mechanics of combat. As said, we're not going to go too far in depth with this, but there is a few things that we need to highlight. There are some items within this game which are more valuable and needed more than others. We're talking credits, any type of resources, equipment, and also weapons. Now, there's only a few moments through this intro where you're gifted items. Other than that, you're pretty much on your own, which means it's essential for you to do one thing. That is looting. Loot as many bodies as possible and go through as many crates. If there's anything laying about, pick that up. You just need to make sure that you're looking absolutely everywhere for any types of credits that are just laying about, resources, equipment, or even weapons. You need this. Now, there is a weight limit within this game. However, you can continue collecting even once your weight limit is above that max. It's a bit annoying that certain NPCs or even companions will start to tell you to leave items alone or start to drop some stuff, but you're perfectly fine. I wouldn't go over the top with this and collect everything because there are some items where the value is next to nothing. And the good thing is with each item, it does break down its rarity, either with colors or it even tells you through text. Plus also you can see the overall value of that item. On my playthrough, anything above 100 credits, I made sure to pick it up. Now, the good thing is that your inventory for your character is not the only place that you can store items. You can also store it in your ship. And it may go without saying, but of course your ship is able to hold a lot more compared to your character. Now, you can only use one weapon at once, you can only have one helmet, only one suit. You're limited on the items that you can use, but we will still be using these at a later date, or once you get out of the tutorial, most likely once you arrive at New Atlantis, because that is where you can sell your items. Now, how you sell these is quite simple. When you land your ship, there is actually a ship service technician over in the corner. You can go over to him, and just behind him there is going to be a trade authority kiosk. If you interact with that, you can sell your items there. What's good, and this links back to that previous point of storing items on your character as well as your ship, is that you can switch between where you sell items from, whether that be from your ship or from your character. And you can do this with all vendors. Now, there is a slight setback, and that is most places that you try to sell your stuff to, there is a limit to how much you can sell. It's normally about 5,000 credits. Well, at least that's what it has been so far whilst going through New Atlantis. You will need to offload and sell all the items that you will not be using to this kiosk, and then you'll need to go to travel to other vendors which are dotted around the city. If you did pick up a lot of items, you're going to have to go back and forth between these vendors in order for you to sell off your items and also make a decent amount of money. Credits are essential. If you don't believe me, you can go back to the ship technician and ask to go and see the ships that he has for sale. The cheapest one being around 50,000 credits. The most expensive, I believe, goes up to 200,000. But bear in mind that this is the very first city that you go to. So based on it being part of the introduction, part of the tutorial, they are going to be cheap anyway. That's not to mention the price that will have to come in once you go into full ship customization. Remember the trailers that were released months ago? There was some ships worth over 700,000. So money is going to be important, you're going to need it. The last thing on selling your items, there are some people who will value certain items more than others. So if you want to maximize every single credit, you need to have a good understanding of who's wanting what in order for you to maximize the most amount of money. Now, all of this is through selling. How else can you get credits? Well, of course, you can complete missions. You'll have your main missions, which will give you the narrative alongside credits, which will slowly build up as you complete more and more missions. But what I've been doing, and the easiest way that I've realized so far, is by doing the various side activities. What's cool with Starfield is that there are a lot of people that you can just walk up to and start talking to. Sometimes they don't have much to say, but there's other times in which they'll have various missions all lined up. As I was traveling around New Atlantis, I came across Gold Bank. I knew 100% that they were going to have money, and there was a guy just sitting behind a desk. I decided to go and speak to him, and it became a debt collection mission. Not just that, but it's like a bounty hunter type role where you do need to go off to various planets and various locations to find certain people, track them down, either kill them off, in which the bank will then claim their assets, or you can try and persuade them to work with the bank, in which the bank still gets those assets. And at the end, you're given a cut of this. Now, I have only done a few missions and they pay around 2,000 credits, which isn't ridiculous, but there seems to be quite a few of them and it is slowly increasing. I don't know what the max this will go to, but you can keep on going back and you can keep on getting these types of missions. It's helpful to have this type of loop so that you're able to go to the city where all the vendors are and all the shops are, so you can sell any items that you're able to loot. You can then claim this mission, go and find the person, kill that person, whilst also looting everything that they have, to then go back to New Atlantis, get paid for completing that mission, and then go and sell all the stuff that you just looted. Pretty good. And of course, it's entertaining at the exact same time. In general, it is worth talking to other characters, whether it be members of the constellation, any other NPCs on missions, or just people in the public, because you will get extra information, you will get more context, and there'll also be additional activities. Now, we've talked heavily about money, but there's also another key area. This is skills. As you are progressing through this game, you will level up. And every single time that you level up, you are rewarded with a skill point. And as like many games, when you're given a skill point, there is a skill tree. Starfield is no different. How the skill tree works is that you'll use the skill point to unlock the initial skill, but after that, that skill can be leveled up. In fact, there's a maximum of 4 ranks for every skill within the game. And the way in which you rank them up is not through additional skill points, it's actually by using that skill. And what I'm starting to notice is that you can be strategic about this depending on your playstyle, in that you can have multiple side by side, both progressing as you do a single activity, mainly through combat. You can have a pistol skill, and as you start to rank that up, you can also have the ballistic skill, which is going to be the exact same thing as long as you're using the right type of pistol. In your skills, I also recommend that you go and unlock scavenging. Naturally, through this game, just based on what we've already gone through, it's a good idea to be looting. So if you can get a bit extra out of it by having the correct skill associated with it, it's only going to be an overall positive. Skill points is not the only way in which you can also increase your character's stats. I noticed when going through my playthrough, and I would assume it's very hard to miss, but when you finally meet all members of the constellation at the lodge, whilst talking to Sarah Morgan, there is something just behind her. Once you finish speaking to her, you can go and pick that item up. This is a constellation guide. And this guide has a skill associated with it, which is permanently reduces full damage by 5%. Now 5% isn't a crazy number, and of course this is a low rarity item, but it does take 0 weight. So you can pick this up with there being 0 mass associated with it, and of course now you get full damage reduced by 5%. But it does mean that there's going to be a lot more of these dotted around the world, so make sure that you keep an eye out. And the last thing to say for this video, and this is a bit of a weird one, but don't try and get too far ahead. What I mean is that myself, I've been keeping track of Starfield for the longest time, that I plan to immediately jump into Starfield and go through all of this research, build outposts, go and create my ship, but that can't really be done, not at this stage. You will notice when going through various missions that there are workstations and workbenches as parts of the scenery within the various spaceships that you board. And yes, you can interact with them, but you just don't really have any type of skills or knowledge in how they work. The best thing to do at this stage is to just play, and I guess somewhat go with the flow. Rather than trying to push ahead and try and build outposts, it's best to carry on going through the main missions, carry on going through any side activities or dynamic events. There seems to be quite a lot of them, and I assume at some point within the main story itself, there will be a time in which it teaches you how to go and build an outpost, how to go and use a research facility, how to upgrade all your gear. But anyway, this is the first day of Starfield. Let me know your thoughts of the game so far in the comment section down below. And if you've got any more additional tips for new players, also leave them in the comment section down below. It seems to be quite a lot of moving parts with this game. A lot of things are going on that it's impossible for one player just to get all the knowledge by himself in such a short time. So share your knowledge, help other people out, and they'll do the same for you. If you enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend clicking the next video on screen. YouTube has picked it specifically just for you. No one else is getting that video, so whatever it is, I hope you enjoy.